Maybe I missed it, but I haven't seen really any Russian disinformation or Russian news source, anything from Russia or its agents in this country in a very long time. All the misinformation, propaganda I see comes from the White House.
That was Tucker Carlson last week, the leader of America's populist pro-Putin parade, in a bizarre turn of events over the past year or so, maybe even a couple of years. Conservative populism is now embracing the Russians. In fact, Mother Jones reports leaked Kremlin memo to Russian media. It is essential to feature Tucker Carlson. The Russian government has pressed outlets to highlight the Fox's pro-Putin helping broadcasts. Journalists make lousy media critics, so Tucker should say whatever he wants, and we shouldn't really care. But his ratings, and more importantly, his influence with a large swath of the American political conversation, changes things. For example, here is J.D. Vance, the Ohio Senate candidate, talking about Ukraine before the invasion.
I got to be honest with you, I don't really care what happens to Ukraine one way or another. I do care about the fact that in my community right now, the leading cause of death among 18 to 45-year-olds is Mexican fentanyl that's coming across the southern border.
More recently, Madison Cawthorn, Republican congressman from North Carolina, said this, mind you, while the war was going on, a sitting U.S. congressman said this about Ukraine's president.
Remember that Zelensky is a thug. Remember that the Ukrainian government is incredibly corrupt, and it is incredibly evil, and it has been pushing woke ideologies.
That is not far from the Kremlin's talking points. Exactly their talking points. Cawthorn modified it a little bit, but not much. Joining us now, George Will, Pulitzer Prize-winning columnist, NewsNation senior contributor, also the author of American Happiness and Discontent. Is this just a natural extension of the Donald Trump foreign policy 2016, 2017, 2018?
I think it's somewhat that, but it's also a regular recurring American phenomenon. We all remember during the Vietnam War, Jane Fonda, the iconic photograph of her grinning as she sat on an anti-aircraft battery in Hanoi, had been used to shoot down Americans. We remember that Fair Play for Cuba Committee was joined by a Marine who had defected to Moscow and then come back. His name was Lee Harvey Oswald. Before the Second World War, the German-American Bund could fill the old Madison Square Garden on 8th Avenue in New York. So there's a recurring phenomenon here. What puzzles me, Leland, is this. I can understand progressives saying we like the Soviet Union because they called themselves socialists and they went too far, but they at least understood the regressive nature of government running the economy, et cetera, et cetera. I do not understand the appeal of Putin to these people. It just mystifies me.
Yeah, we thought of Bernie Sanders, who, of course, vacationed in the Soviet Union for his honeymoon, have a picture of that, and then you juxtapose it with Candace Owens, who is a major conservative figure. She calls herself conservative, whether we'd agree with that assessment or not. Candace Owens, who tweeted out, absolutely appalling the way Russians are being treated in America and abroad, that our leaders and government institutions are allowing for, and at times calling for this discrimination following their global Black Lives Matter hysteria is quite telling. Russian Lives Matter, conveniently retweeted by the Russian embassy.
I don't think we should assume, by the way, that Tucker Carlson is a force forever. The Roman Empire fell, the Ottoman Empire fell, the Carolingian Empire fell, the British, Soviet empires fell, but somehow Tucker Carlson is forever. We are all, Leland, the sum of our choices. And Tucker Carlson has made his choice in this regard, and it will haunt him for the rest of his career, such as it is, that he has decided to line up with a man who has absolutely no virtue whatever. A kleptocrat who's become one of the richest people in the world just by stealing from the Russian people. I simply don't understand this interest in Putin. Now, some conservatives say, well, he's culturally conservative. He doesn't like gay rights, doesn't like same-sex marriage, et cetera, et cetera. Yes, but that's a awful lot of baggage you have to swallow to endorse a man for that.
Yeah, I'm thinking if you go back to Tucker before the war started, he's been consistent about this as it relates to Russia. Tucker on January 18th about justifying Vladimir Putin's concerns. Take a listen.
Fell under the direct military control of China. We would see that as a threat, of course. There'd be no reason for that. Well, that's how Russia views NATO control of Ukraine, and why wouldn't they? We don't get anything out of pushing Ukraine into NATO, so why are we doing this?
He started with, imagine if Mexico fell under the direct military control of China, and that was echoed by the Kremlin, and it still is. Taking it a step further, is there some part of the populist movement or the American conservative movement that plays into this native isolationist group? And if so, it didn't work out very well ahead of World War II, and Jane Fonda's feelings in Vietnam didn't work out so well either.
I think that's right. I think there's an element of childishness to this. It's naughty. It's a way to be scandalous. So I think when Tucker Carlson has to live with this after all the graphic journalism that has already come out and will come out when we see the damage done to the hospitals and the kindergartens in Ukraine, he is not Teflon. He is not an indestructible force. And we are all the sum of our choices, and he's made his.
Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.